First and foremost, congratulations to Bobby. That takes a long time to win that many games and take a lot of good players. So go ahead.
Coach, what's Isaiah Weston's status?
Questionable.
Can you give any sort of specificity on the injury?
It was it was a lower body injury, and it really is. It's questionable as of right now, just because I haven't seen him yet today, and it's one of those injuries that he could come back this weekend. It's just I haven't heard the degree level of it right now. Coming off Monday, we're taking today off, and we actually came back yesterday, so saw him yesterday. But today's the day when you really get an evaluation on him.
No concern at all, and it may be on a different leg with regard to his knee injury that he had been coming back from this year. In terms of it's an injury that may be on the same leg and just may make you a little more cautious than you otherwise would be.
Oh, not really. When you said the knee, it's not his knee, so I'm not overly concerned. I mean, it's a football injury that just happened, and it's one of those injuries. If it's a receiver, if it was a defensive lineman playing a different position, you could probably be a little bit more concrete of what's going on. But when you're playing the skill position, whether it's a DB or receiver, somebody's got to run a lot. That's where it gets to be how quickly can they get back off this injury? How much pain can they endure through that injury? Maybe a defensive lineman could a little bit more because of what he has to do, but because of what Isaiah's asked to do. But we'll wait and see. But I don't foresee it. I don't think it. Knock on wood. I don't perceive it as doing anything with the knee, or it was just a football injury that happened, and not overly concerned. Just want to make sure, concerned enough that I would like to have him play this weekend, but I can't say for sure that he will.
How about Vanderslice and Hoosman? Could they conceivably work their way back into the lineup?
Actually, Hoosman will not play. He will not play. He actually he had surgery last week, and so we're seeing if we can't get him back in the weeks to come. But he'll be out right now. So
What did he injure? Because
his ankle. It was his ankle. Okay. So he had surgery. He had to make a choice if he wanted to try to get it to heal or try to get it to surgery to get back in time. So it's at an odd time of year. So he thought this might be the quickest way back if he could. So I don't know that we'll see him again this year based off how long the season unfolds right now, but he'll be out. Vanderslice is I would put him in the doubtful category, even more so than the questionable, because he stayed out last week. There's no way he could play last week, but this week I'll find out more today on him. But he'll probably be more of a game time, late in the week decision, as probably will Isaiah will be. It'll be probably late in the week. So what I'm telling you is it's an injury that you might be able to come back from this week, but it's one of those injuries that might not allow you to play at full speed and play your position well by the end of this week.
Is Hoosman's surgery similar to the one the Alabama quarterback did?
It's actually the same one. It's the same surgeries, is my understanding.
Can you remember a year where you dealt with so many injuries to significant contributors? I mean, what's it say about this team? You're still alone in second, despite everything you've kind of gone through this year.
We try not to look at the injuries, but it is when they start adding up on you, you start trying to find out where to fit guys in and how to play them. And what it says about is the guys that are replacing them right now and the guys that are stepping in and the resilience, particularly of the offensive side of the football, because that's where we've really had most of the significant injuries that have taken starters out of the lineup. So, but guys have stepped up, guys have played well. We've adapted plans, and it's just the resilience. It's nobody really talks about it or thinks about it. It's just you have to work within that group of players. And heck, last week we grabbed a couple running backs, and you may not have seen them in the game, but it takes a couple weeks to get them ready too. So hopefully after another week of working with them, that one of those or two of those will be ready to insert this week. And it's Brock Hadachek. He's done a really nice job at tight end coming around for us and filling in for Briley. But when you're down to if you look at your depth chart, if you're down to your fourth tight end, your fourth tailback, and we've lost some pretty key players that were significant role players that were targets, big-time targets for us at the beginning of the season, aren't on that football field right now. So we have to do a good job of planning, but it's also made us more balanced too, probably. Aaron Graham really has stepped up into becoming a great player for us. Suni took his role on and really became a difference maker for us the past 2 weeks. So, we're just looking for that next guy to come in now and fill that next role and be a difference maker in games to come. So defense has to continue to play great and keep us in a situation, keep us in a place where we can always get a win. And special teams has to find ways to get field position as well. And if we could do those things, we might be able to offset some of the things that we're doing on offense, when we're not at full strength.
But because you have games to play with, would this be a chance to see Logan Wolf on the field?
Quite likely, yes. Yeah. If Isaiah's out, Wolf would be the next one. So yeah, Wolf is definitely a guy that he's right there. He could have played last week. He's running with the 2 deep right now, and that'll put him right in that flow of players that he'll be on the football field. So I would anticipate that. I'm not going to say he will, but I would anticipate that, yes.
What do you see out of him? What's he bring? And
Logan?
yeah,
Logan's really smart, and he just the word I would use, he's smooth. He's just he knows how to get in and out of breaks. He's smooth with how he performs, and he's got good hands, good intelligence, and and fortunately he's been around long enough now that if we did play him, I haven't even talked to him about it. If we did play him, I'm sure he'd be nervous, but I wouldn't be concerned about him being that it's too big a game for him or anything like that, because he carries himself in a way that you would play him. He just seems more advanced than maybe what a true freshman would be right now mentally. And we'll wait and see when he plays, but I would anticipate he'd play this weekend.
what in prep now for the one this Saturday at South Dakota State? What can you tell us about your opponent?
Well, I tell you what, they're really good on defense. They're doing a tremendous job on defense right now. They got good size, great speed, 2 really good corners. I was impressed with their defense watching the defense run around. They're really playing well on defense. Offensively, they had their quarterback get hurt at the North Dakota State game, so now I can see them doing some of the same things to try to replace their quarterback. They had 2 young quarterbacks, and now they're trying to probably put together the plan that best fits this quarterback and the talent they have. So they're doing some mixing and matching a little bit too, and they're playing a different quarterback. But I'm seeing more Wildcat now the past 2 weeks, and a little bit different planning maybe after they lost the previous quarterback. So I think they might be going through that phase like we are, but they got a tremendous defense. They're really good on defense.
You said Saturday after the game that losing Isaiah took a lot out of your offensive package. Looking back now after having watched the film, is that maybe a piece of adversity that you're almost glad that your team ran into, because hopefully now you'll be better prepared if you run into something similar?
Yeah, even if we run into, now we're getting to the phase that our depth is there's really no place to go now. We're kind of out of bullets in that chamber right now. So now it's more so, how do we play the players that we have to their strength? So you might have to put a running back at receiver, a Logan Wolf, where can he play and be comfortable and be productive? So, it happened in a way that we've got, a week to plan for a game, but it'll be a different plan, much different than if Isaiah is playing, because Isaiah, we found out the talent he was early in the season, and he was multiplying his package as weeks progressed. And so that's why we're probably leaning maybe too heavy on some of the things he was doing, but at the same time, we'll just put this plan together, because we'll try to find out what they struggle with, and we'll try to figure out what we can do well, and see if we can't match it up on the same play.
And with Tyler being out, do you maybe go to Trevor Allen and ask him how he's feeling, because perhaps a big workload is in store for him coming up soon? He had 12 carries with success on Saturday, over 5 yards a clip. So maybe it's something looking back where you give him the ball a few more times, and going forward you say you're going to give him the ball a lot.
Well, we would if he wasn't hurt, but he got hurt too. So yeah, that was I'd have gave him 30 times if he can handle it. I don't care who carries it, but he's nicked up too. He's not even close to full strength. He really ran hard the other night, and he's good for a while, but I wish I could say he'd carry the 30. He wishes he could himself right now, but he's a little nicked up too ever since the beginning of the season. And when he gets back on Saturday, he gives you all he got. But he's not operating 100% by any means.
A week ago, you go to Illinois State and beat them, and this last Saturday, they go to South Dakota State and beat them. Does that help you in your prep, knowing you just faced Illinois State, they just played South Dakota State, now you face the Jackrabbit? How does that help in your preparation for this one?
I don't know if it helps. I don't know that it hurts. I don't know that it helps though. It's probably what I'd say the flip side of it. I think it sets a different tone. I watched that Illinois State game, and as I watch it, I think Illinois State was maybe at a mindset in that football game that, that they were, they went in there with an attitude. I'm sure that they were up against the wall, and that was a big game they had to go get, and they did that. They played a great game, and now South Dakota State. After I know how we would feel, after a game like that, so I know we're going to get, a very high level, great football team coming out of South Dakota State, because coming off those games really makes you get back to your, how you want to play. So I'm sure they'll come with an attitude to be a great football team, as they are.
Do you look at what they did defensively to slow down South Dakota State's run game to maybe mirror it or use part of it? Because it sounds like they pressured that quarterback a lot. Almost every 3/4 of the plays, they almost pressured him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we'll mimic it. Of course, you'll watch it and see what they do. Illinois State plays a different style of defense than we do, so it's hard for us to mimic anybody because we're so much different than everybody. But there's definitely things that you'll look at to see, what caused problems, what was good, what was bad, and it still comes down to players making plays. I can scheme anything I want if they got to get lined up and play, and that's the biggest thing we got to deal with this week. We got to get outside. Play this thing outdoors and get ready to play this thing outdoors. And that's probably as big a challenge as it is the South Dakota State game. So, we've been doing it now for a while, but this week is different it's what it's like today. So, and I'm guessing the weather's going to be something like this come Saturday. So we just have to deal with all the elements, whether it's South Dakota State, whether it's the injuries that we've had or the weather that we're going to play in, and get lined up and put our best team on the field and go play well.
It's almost kind of like a pseudo playoff game. I mean, do you have any sort of discussion with your players? Or you just trust that they're aware of everything that surrounds this one?
No, they're aware. We talked about, and that those polls came out on Wednesday, I think last week. I just wanted to get that behind us because everybody was talking about it, but nobody would say anything. So we just wanted to get it out there. Here's where it's at. It's more so what you better deal with each game, whether it's in Indiana State or South Dakota State or whoever you're up against. It's November, and all these games will make a huge difference going into that next week. And for each game that you win, the next game gets bigger. And so this one got bigger by getting the win at beating Indiana State. So our players know, but they also know they better get prepared because the message you'll send is they're playing a very, very good football team. Maybe one of the better ones that South Dakota State has ever had.
Speaking of, you brought it up a little bit. In the long-term plan, when you mapped this out, did you plan, and you've been outside at least 5 or 6 times the last 3 weeks, to acclimate yourself, I'm guessing, basically preparing maybe for a game like this? Is that that was kind of your long-term plan, is, hey, we want to be prepared when we go outside?
Yes, it was definitely a long-term plan and not a short-term plan when we went out. The first time I went out, I had to go out because the dome was closed. That was the North Dakota State week. And then by doing that, we continued on and we found a great field to go to. And now we can get our work done, and it helped. I went outside last week. And like I said last week, if it was my choice, I'd practice outside every Tuesday for the whole season, no matter who you played or where you played. Because where we live and where we play, you're going to have to play these games outside and you're going to have to be successful outside. So if you just do it every Tuesday, it becomes another practice day, and you don't wait just for this game to come up to decide to go outside. So it would be my choice to practice every Tuesday outside if we had the fields to do it on.
And you've done some multiple times outside in the recent weeks too, right?
We have. I mean, a lot of people build indoor facilities so they can get inside in weather like this. We go outside, so because we have to get climatized for just the opposite, because we get accustomed to inside. But all in all, when you play at South Dakota State, it's they've got the new field now. Before they had that frozen tundra. Now they got that new field, so you're always got a good surface there, and it's part of the game right now. If you're fortunate enough to survive November and get in December, all the games are like this. Wherever you go, you're going to be playing in this kind of element. So that's why I like to get outside in October and stay outside the whole time if we can.
How exciting is it that in previous years, it seemed like got late into the season, you were kind of in that must-win mode just to battle for an at-large playoff berth. You put yourself in a spot now where if you can continue to win, you're not only looking at a top 8 seed, maybe a top 4 seed, couple home games back-to-back, more importantly, the bye week. Just how does it feel kind of this year knowing what you additionally are playing for, maybe compared to where you were at a couple of years ago, just trying to get in?
Probably the word, as you're saying that question, the only one the word that comes to me is guarded. I'm guarded because, yeah, you want to get excited about it, and yeah, you feel like you're in good position. But the moment I do that, I know you better be in a guarded position because you know what we're up against this week. We know we've already talked about some of the things that have happened to us that we're overcoming, and then you just want to make sure that you put the best plan together again to give your team the best chance to win with the people that you have. And that's why I say it's guarded, because you want to enjoy, you want to take a step back and take a breath, but if you do, it's going to cost you. So, that's why we probably worked harder on Indiana State than I did on a lot of football teams last week. We worked hard on Indiana State and actually doubled down on them late in the week to go back and review again to make sure nobody looked past something going into that game. That's what I mean by guarded. Double check your work even more so when you play in Indiana State. Because at South Dakota State, you better just put all your time, because they're at the level that, they'll get the extra attention. But we're in Indiana State, you had to make sure you gave them that extra effort to make sure you were in position to make this game what it is coming up this weekend.
So you saw the film of last week's game. What did you think of their true freshman quarterback and how he handled, that start against a pretty good defense?
No, I think he's good. I think he's good. I think they're all very good. I mean, their offensive line is good. Their tight ends are playing well. Of course, they got the receiver that's been dominant. They're just impressive. When I watch film, I look for speed and size, and they have that. And they've got as good a speed as they've ever had. And the quarterback, to me, a quarterback with great players surrounding him could be a really good quarterback no matter what. And he's got some really good players around him. He's got a very good offensive coordinator. He knows how to use it, and he knows how to – he's played us before. He's been in this league long enough, and he knows how to – I think he's one of the harder guys to defend because of the schemes that he can put together and how he uses his talent.
In the last 5 meetings, you've won 3 times. In those 3 times, you've averaged only allowing about 65 yards rushing. The other 3 times – the 2 losses, they went over 130. How is that going to be a factor? If you feel you can shut them down, you can make them a little one-dimensional?
I did not know that. No stats. I better put the extra effort in stopping the run. you did. I got to hire you, man. It's like I got consulting here. But you know what? You're 100% right, because I'm going to go back to this practicing outside thing. You got to be able to run the ball this time of year. I mean, when you get this time of year, I mean, if there is wind factor, if there is the temperature factor, it affects the throwing game, and that's why you can have a lot better ability to control a game, to stay ahead of the sticks with a rushing game, and it goes both ways. You got to have a good rushing attack, and you got to better have a great rush defense. And if you do, and when you get to this time of year, those are the teams that will be standing at the end, and the run and gun stuff is great when it's 80 degrees out, but things change when it's, when the wind blows and the snow falls. So we just have to get ready to get our team ready for this weekend.
And in playing in these kind of conditions, what is maybe additional concerns and how do you prep for them? And I'm thinking of, hanging on to the football and maybe catching the ball, throwing the ball in these conditions. How do you prepare for this kind of weather you're going to play in?
Be in it is my best answer. Our offensive line coach is from California, And last week I brought something up. He goes, "What's it like to play in the snow? I've never have before." And I'm going, same way it is anywhere else, but I mean, they do clear the field to play on. But again, you assume some stuff, and it's just everybody's looking for this answer that to solve the problem. I think the way to solve the problem is go out and be in it. When you work in it, the people that work in it, they become acclimatized to it, and they get up and they go to work every day, and it doesn't faze them. Okay, whereas somebody that just walks out there on a Monday afternoon, you think the world's coming to an end because of how you feel. So there is a wear and tear on the body in it. There's no question about that. But you only get 12 opportunities to play football. You better enjoy all 12 of them, no matter where you play them in, rain or cold, because we're all not fortunate enough to have a dome like this. But it's one of the 12, so you better enjoy every moment of it. Anybody else? Thanks.